The issues faced on the Clarence River date back a number of years ago when the residents in the Sealands area, in the Upper Clarence, voiced concerns that there were some erosion issues, partly caused by boating.
We've been here 35 years. We used to have a low terrace running right along, and that's all gradually eroded away, and now we're into the high bank.
On examination, we discovered a number of different causes to the erosion, which included natural causes, as well as boating and some land management practices. We've engaged with the local land services and soil conservation service for this project, as they were part of the multi-agency committee that we formed in 2015. Roads and Maritime has always been a key member of that committee, and we were looking for key agencies that could provide us the necessary support to put in place projects such as this. There's a lot of work going on here, and it's beyond the ability and the expertise of Roads and Maritime to be able to put these sort of measures in place to mitigate the erosion along this part of the Clarence. Soil Conservation Service, local land services hold that expertise and have been instrumental in helping us to achieve the plans that we wanted to achieve.
Here we are, we're 10 kilometres upstream of Grafton on the Clarence River. The project aims broadly to protect the riverbank toe from erosion from wake-generated waves, and it aims to do that in two main ways. One is the physical works, which SoilCon is involved with, and the other aspect is on-river works, which RMS are looking after, and those works include such things as exclusion zones, no slow tow zones, and public education. SoilCon was engaged very early in the process to pick up from a previous report done over a large section of river. So we focused in on a reach from Grafton to Rogan's Bridge, which was approximately 26 kilometres. The purpose of that report was to go along and come up with a remediation concept, basically work out a roadmap and a methodology for dealing with this problem. SoilCon were able to refine the project deliverables, which were equated to approximately needing 4,000 tonne of rock to be placed as bank toe revetments, covering about 2 kilometres of riverbank. The important placement of 400 large tree, log and root combinations, which we refer to as large woody debris. The installation of 5 kilometres of riparian fencing to control stock access, particularly around those structural works areas. And finally, the seed collection, propagation, planting and maintenance of 60,000 native riparian tree and shrub species.
So North Coast Local Land Services has been involved in this project in their capacity to bring agencies together. So we've worked with RMS, Soil Conservation Service, the Grafton City Council, but our big strength in our involvement is our link to the landholders. So we've really been developing the relationship with landholders, talking to landholders about what they can do on their properties, what some of their river management issues might be. And through doing that, we've been able to get 21 landholders on board and involved in the project, and those landholders are all having works undertaken on their properties.
This is a great project in that we've got a huge amount of root balls from the Pacific Highway upgrade. It's been a fabulous opportunity to take basically a material that was going to go to waste, and we've managed to ship them out here onto the bank of the river, and we're placing them into the waterway. And these are huge trees that would have just gone to waste.
The work they did was to replace rubble revetment along the bank, and along with logs, root balls they call them at the time. In a couple of locations we fenced off the riverbank with electric fence.
So some of the banks are quite accessible and open and cleared, and others are 10 to 15 metres high, vertical and heavily vegetated. So we really had to find out a way of getting the rock and the logs to those areas to try and tackle the erosion problem at the toe of the bank. How we did that was to firstly identify those properties where we could access conventionally by land, and by that I mean bringing excavators to the riverbank and trucks full of rock to those excavators. We liaised with the landholders through North Coast Local Land Services to check that they were okay for us to use haul roads on their properties. Once we worked out the areas we could treat conventionally, we then had to come up with a solution for the other areas, and we essentially had two options. One option was to do nothing with those areas and just let them be as they are. That was not a preferred option for SoilCon because we pride ourselves in being innovators and coming up with solutions to problems, so we had to find another way. And what that resulted in was to treat those areas from the water by use of a barge. So use of barge for river rehab works is not innovative in itself, but to do it on this scale with the types of materials we needed to use on for this job was quite out of the box, and to my knowledge not undertaken before. It is high risk. It's been noted with the community that it's a risky approach, but the good thing about the logs is that not only do they provide a physical barrier for the wake, but they also provide amazing aquatic habitat for fish. So I think the bass fishermen are going to absolutely love this project.
One of the things that we've noticed in this part of the world is a river grass called potamophila, and that is a really hardy water plant, and it grows all through the Clarence system and some other systems. And we thought, well, if we could just get that growing in the right place, that would be terrific to as yet another tool to armour up the bank.
And from there, the re-veg program will commence this spring. There'll be a 3-year maintenance period once those plants are planted in the ground.
As a principle, it could have a huge impact for river restoration up and down, well, all throughout Australia really.
So this project's been a collaborative project with all our partners. In addition to those, I really want to thank all the landholders whose properties we've worked on throughout the project, and all the community members who've been part of the community group. So every landholder we've worked with has been really open and accepting of the works, and just made it a really pleasant experience for everyone involved.